told a lie. I did you wrong. I made you cry. Walked on soul searching, soul searching, soul searching, soul searching. I made you cry. How could I leave somebody like you? How could I do all the silly things that I do? If you try the way I do, act the fool the way I do, I need you so bad, baby. Won't you come back to me? Soul searching now, soul searching for you, baby. Soul searching that nobody like my baby. I keep soul searching. I'm soul searching, soul searching. It's driving me crazy. Why did I ever say goodbye? I must be out of my mind. I keep walking and walking and walking and walking and looking for a sign. I need to be crazy, baby. They ever let you go. I keep looking for a sign. Oh, why do I get all the bad breaks? How could I make such stupid mistakes? Why? Soul searching. It drives me crazy. Soul searching. Soul searching. That nobody like me. I keep soul searching. Soul searching. I'm crazy about you, baby. Soul searching. I knew a man, Bojangles, and he danced for you in worn-out shoes, silver hair and ragged shirt and baggy pants, the old soft shoe, so high, jump so high, and then he'd lightly touch down. I met him in a sail in New Orleans. I was down and out. It looked to me to be the eyes of age as the smoke ran out. He talked of life, talked of life. Laugh clicked his heels instead. He said his name Bojangles and he danced a lick across the cell. He grabbed his pants and feathered stance for a jump so high. And then he clicked his heels. He let go a laugh. He let go a laugh. Shook back his clothes all around. Mr. Bojangles, Mr. Bojangles, Mr. Bojangles, dance. He danced for those at minstrel shows and county fairs. The dog up and died, he up and died. After 20 years he still grieves. Instead of dance now at every chance in honky tonk for drinks and tips. But most of the time I spend behind these county bars. 'Cause I drink so big. He shook his head, and as he shook his head, I heard someone ask him, please, please, Mr. Bojangles, Mr. Bojangles, Mr. Bojangles, dance.
W6CJ Jacksonville.
News Roberts. The White House is continuing oil production as gas prices head higher.
Nations agreeing to cut oil production by 2 million barrels per day, which could make inflation in America worse, while giving Russia a way to minimize the impact of global sanctions.
Fox's Peter Ducey. President Biden says he'll release upwards of 10 million barrels of oil from the country's strategic petroleum reserve in November. The search for a family kidnapped in California is over.
Our worst fears have been confirmed.
Merced County Sheriff Vernon Warnke says a farm worker found the baby girl, her parents, and uncle dead yesterday.
There's no words right now to describe the anger I feel.
A suspect is in custody, and police in Thailand say more than 30 people, mostly children, died in a shooting at a daycare center.
And a good morning to you. I'm Rayford Brown.
And I'm Lee Barrows, and what a beautiful day in eastern North Carolina.
Yeah, it's gorgeous out there. It was a gorgeous day yesterday.
Yes, it
I'll
was.
tell you, very chilly in the morning, and we got
Gorgeous.
up to about 70 degrees or so yesterday afternoon, but it felt so good.
It
No
sure
heat,
did.
no air conditioning, none of that stuff you had to worry about.
Typical North Carolina weather. It's
Beautiful.
summer one day and fall the next. There's no in between.
Yeah, well, yesterday was a Chamber of Commerce day as far as I'm concerned.
That's right, Mike.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, if you're responsible, thank you.
Yeah. Lots going on all over the world. We got coming up here in about 30 minutes. We've got a young lady from the Onslow County Health Department going to be in here. She's going to be chatting, a nurse with the health department.
It's October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and she's going to give us a lot of information and tell us what all the health department can offer.
Right.
For ladies who need assistance.
Yeah.
And I'm wearing pink today in honor of Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Thank you for that. I don't think I have any pink.
Well, we could fix that for you.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I don't look good in pink.
Friday, you have to wear red, though.
I generally wear red on Friday.
Friday is Cardinal Day.
I wear red on Fridays, and even one of my little rats here is red.
Oh, we're going to make sure we're both decked out in red Friday.
Yeah, it's also something that for law enforcement to support law enforcement on Fridays.
Yes.
Reds. So I've been doing that quite a bit. Most Fridays I do it, almost all Fridays. So yeah, Cardinals are going to be taking on
Havelock
at home here in Jacksonville.
I have
on
a
Friday
friend
night.
that's coming in from Havelock.
Well, I hope your friend.
If you see me hit somebody in the stands, it's because
I
you know, ready to back.
Yep. Anyway,
Yeah.
we're going to do that. Maybe that'll put us on the.
I hope so, because
So for the
last
conference
week,
play.
2 weeks ago, we took a terrible beat.
Well, we've had two in a row.
Yeah,
And,
that's all right.
Yeah, but we'll come back.
We have time.
Come back, Cardinals.
Yes.
Bring you up to date on the hurricane, and we don't have any situation. We do have tropical depression number 12 is down there. It has not moved a whole lot since it began.
No, it has not.
And the good thing is they're looking at it just dissipating here shortly. It's about worn itself out. It's got sustained winds of about 35 miles per hour. And it's moving to the west-northwest finally at 13 miles an hour. That's kind of fast for it, that far out. but it's just been going around in circles, not doing anything, meandering,
Just
as is what they
spinning.
call it. So, yeah. And it looks like, according to the National Hurricane Center, this depression expected to become what they call a remnant low soon. In other words, whatever's left of it.
I'll take it. I'll take
I
it.
will too. Now, down in the Caribbean, the tropical disturbance number 1 has crossed into the Caribbean. It went through just right off the coast of Venezuela, right along the
Right.
border there.
It's about right close to where you were a couple
Headed
of
right
weeks
now
ago.
for the ABC Islands, Aruba, Bonaire, and Curacao.
Uh.
Bonaire being the most eastward of those 3 islands.
I see you.
So it's not going. It's going to be there. Nothing really sustained. It's mostly just massive rain and some wind. You can expect, though, that the islands, Curaçao's got some hills in it. Bonaire's got virtually nothing, and Aruba's got a small bump on it. But there will probably be some stuff up there with the rain and whatever on Bonaire and in Curacao. But northern part of Venezuela, because this thing is right on the coast. It's actually closer to the coast of Venezuela, the mainland there, than it is to the ABC Islands. So
Right.
they're probably going to have some issues. That's what I would guess. It will likely form up, according to the National Hurricane Center, into a tropical something. It's now just a disturbance. But as the winds begin to pick up in the nice warm waters of the Caribbean, especially that far south in the Caribbean, it likely to gain some steam. And within the next 2 days, there's an 80% chance it will be a tropical something or another. In the next 5 days, there's a 90% chance. So they're not looking at this one fizzing out.
Right.
Now, the problem with this thing is
No problems, please.
it just depends upon which way it goes.
Right.
If it stays really south and does not take a turn towards the north or northwest, then we're okay, and the mainland will be okay of the U.S. But it's kind of like on the same track that Ian had a couple of weeks ago, a week and a half ago, down in the Caribbean. And it turned and went across Cuba, if you'll recall, from the
Right.
Caribbean.
And then from there.
And that was a mess. And then it came up to then it became a bit of a mess and a rain event primarily. We got some winds out of it. We had 35 mile per hour sustained winds
Yes.
around here, 30, 35.
It
and
was nothing.
we had winds 47 miles per hour were recorded at the air station. Gust, they were
Right.
gust. That's when I was checking during the heat, the heart of that storm. That's about what we had there. So we're okay. It just left us a bunch of rain and blew some leaves and stuff down. So I had to clean up areas. Some
I
of the
had
yards and
minimal
stuff.
cleanup.
I-
Yes.
I just let the wind take it to my neighbors.
Yeah.
So-
If this one forms, it'll be named Julia.
Julia, go away.
Julia.
Well, it's going to be named, I'm afraid. So we're looking at that. But it's our fault.
Of course it is.
It is. It's our fault. Hurricane Ian last week
Right.
and all of the death and destruction, more than 100 and some killed in Florida, 4 in North Carolina, I think,
5.
5. All of that death and destruction it left behind was not the result of force of nature. Yesterday said it proves storm. That storm in particular.
Send him over there to Africa so when they start forming, he can just stop them,
Talk them to death.
spray them or something. I don't know.
Out on a
Just
limb all by
ridiculous.
himself on this one, the president said, there's a lot going on. And I think the one thing that has finally ended is a discussion about whether or not there's climate change and we should do something about it. Huh?
He's way out on a limb. He's about to fall out of the tree.
Even his hurricane expert said that's not true. Jamie Rome, the acting director of National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration's National Hurricane Center, said, I don't think you can link climate change to any one event. On the whole, on the cumulative, climate change may be making storms worse, but to link it to any one event, I would caution against that. So where does Biden get this information? Where does he get stuff for a speech like that?
I can't answer that. I can't answer
Well,
that.
I
To even
believe
come up with something like this is just
I believe he watches
ridiculous.
too much left-leaning television because all the media
Yes.
guys, not all, some of the media guys, you got those guys on CNN. What's that clown's name? I forgot it. Anyway,
Don Lemon,
that's the one.
who got demoted down to the morning show now.
Don, bless his soul, that's the first thing he started asking questions about. How can you relate this to climate change? No, you can't. Senator Amy Klobuchar, Minnesota, she suggested voting for Democrats would help avoid future hurricanes.
Oh, God, Lord have mercy. Good Lord. Good Lord.
I got a headache.
Well, all I've got to say is November's coming soon and it'll be over with. So-
I'm not sure. I can look at the polls, and you got one poll saying this, you got this other
Right.
poll saying that. Whoever is the local town. If the Republican poll, you know how it's going to come out. If MSNBC and CNN are paying for a poll, yeah.
Well,
I'm-
and then I know you want to talk about the surging gas prices.
I
they're-
paid
they're-
$3.02
it's
the
just
last time I
crazy.
filled up. $3.02 over at
Right.
Sam's.
Some places have jumped 20 cents.
It was $3.39 yesterday afternoon on New Bridge
And I
Street.
need gas today.
I don't know what it is at Sam's today, but
I
I'm
haven't
going to
bought
go by and
gas.
find out because it's not going to come back down for a while.
Right, right.
And I think this is a Russian conspiracy, and I think the Democrats are right. The Russians are involved.
Right.
The Russians have cut off or reducing the amount of oil along with OPEC. They're reducing the amount of oil they're going to produce on a daily basis. And you know why they're doing this? To make Biden look bad. That's the conspiracy.
Well, global oil
I hope
production,
nobody's taking me seriously.
especially in the United States, has suffered from insufficient financial investment as the focus shifts on a potential bonanza from the energy transition. Would you please explain that to me, what that means?
Oh, and they're cutting back on oil, and they're going to raise the price on oil, so it will make electric cars look more
It's suffering
feasible.
a insufficient financial investment. We're all still buying gas. I
Yeah.
don't get it.
Yeah. Well,
It's coming up on election time. That's what it is. We all know.
It is. Well, and Biden's going to turn loose 10 million barrels
10 million
in
barrels.
November.
You know how long that'll last?
2 million barrels a day. They're
We use, like-
reducing. They're reducing 2 million barrels a day out of the OPEC nations.
Right.
2 million barrels that we would have access to. They're reducing it by that. So that's 5 days worth.
But do you know how much
If we got it
we
all.
generally soak up in a day's time?
Yeah, a lot more than that.
Yes. And none of it makes sense.
And then, of course, heating oil and all that sort of good stuff is going to come into play here.
Oh, God. These poor people. You better get out and start chopping down some of those trees, is
Yep.
what I've got to say. And then you're going to be in trouble with the green people.
There's enough trees that fall.
This is ridiculous.
It is totally, absolutely asinine. Asinine. You heard a little bit on Fox News there in Thailand.
Yes.
They're calling
sad.
it in the media, right? Hey, explain this to you in Thailand. At a daycare center in northeast Thailand, what is it, about 300 miles from Bangkok?
Yes.
More than
Somewhere
30
around-
people dead,
Yes.
including children.
Children, at least 23 children.
23 kids, 2 teachers, and a police officer. There were others, don't know how many others. Reports from the region say the shooter committed suicide. It's also being reported that he's a former cop. He also shot the attack. Within the facility, they say 4 bullets. And 4 were taken back.
The knife.
23 children he's cut up,
Ah.
staggered with a knife. But it's labeled as a mass shooting.
Yes, I noticed that mass shooting, underlined, bold lettering, but yet most of the children, I think he killed them all with a
He
knife.
did.
That's so sad. How that just innocent children taking a nap.
Just it's ridiculous.
The world is so mean.
Yeah.
So mean.
either a soldier or former soldier 2 years ago in Thailand. He went on a rampage and killed 29 people.
Oh my gosh.
What's going on in Thailand? What's the problem?
I can't tell you, but it's just this is so sad. So sad.
It is sad.
Yeah, it's obvious he had mental health issues.
Yes, he killed himself,
Yes, he did.
killed his wife and child.
And I hate to
before all
say
this
it, but it's a
happened.
shame he killed himself because he should be able to. He should have to stand and face what he did, but he took the chicken way out.
Yep.
'Cause I'm sure there's a
I
lot of parents
I
want to
hope
get their
they will.
hands on him.
I hope they will take advantage of the autopsy, and if it depends upon where he shot himself, of course, and do brain studies.
Well, if he shot himself in the head, the autopsy ought to
that's
be good.
screwed up, that one.
Yeah. Just pick it up.
A Kentucky couple has been arrested after authorities discovered human remains inside a tote bag in a storage locker while searching for a missing girl.
Oh, Lord.
27-year-old Cheyenne Porter and 31-year-old Jose Gomez Alvarez were each charged with tampering with physical evidence and abuse of a corpse. There will be additional charges, trust me. Deputies learned of the missing girl from a caller who reported that they had not seen one of the children who was in the care of Porter and Gomez Alvarez for some time. What? Are they foster parent? It doesn't tell us any more details about that. On Monday, deputies received information that led them to a storage facility in Owensboro. They found a locker in Porter's name. They did not immediately provide details about what information led authorities to the storage facility. A search of that locker revealed a tote with human remains.
In a locker.
In a locker. The remains were sent to the medical examiner's office for an autopsy and identification. The body is believed to be 9-year-old Eliano Maya Gomez Alvarez. Gomez Alvarez is likely to be the father. Deputy said that Aliano's siblings told them that they were mistreated and that Aliano was locked in a basement for an extended time where she died of convulsions.
How horrible. Absolutely horrible. And how old did they say she was?
9.
9. Bless her heart. Bless her heart.
9. I don't know how many kids were there. Obviously, that she had siblings because they told the cops.
Oh, what kind of monster?
Monsters, both of them.
Jeez.
Locker in a locker. The body. They put the body in a locker.
Well, you heard about the family of 4, which included an 8-month-old
Yes.
that had gone missing, supposedly kidnapped at gunpoint.
Well, they were kidnapped at gunpoint. You see the video?
No, I
They
didn't
got
see the
surveillance
video.
video of them coming out.
Oh my gosh. Well, they've been found and worst fears confirmed.
Yeah, all are dead. And
Yes.
the one of the guys that was involved. He tried to commit suicide. He's in the hospital.
I hope they keep him alive. Keep him alive.
Let's take a break. Our number you want to chat today, 910-333-0139. It's the same number we had yesterday. Likely to be the same number we have tomorrow.
Yes.
910-333-0139. You're live and local Real Talk on Freedom 97.1 and 1120 AM WSME. And we're back. Oyster season is right around the corner.
Yummy.
Want to be sure and pick up a good quality oyster shucking knife when you stop in at Tideline Marine here in Jacksonville. Even if I'm invited to attend oyster rows, I always bring my own knife. No
Absolutely.
telling what kind of knives your friends or family or other folks might have, even the public events. And think about it. They may not have enough to go around. They have throw a big oyster roast.
It's hard opening those
Uh-huh.
knives with the plastic knife.
A number of Tideline's customers have already picked up a knife or two this season, and there are only about a dozen left. I counted them yesterday. While you're at Tideline, take a gander at the fishing lures. Fishing is hot right now, whether you're chasing kings, big Spanish spots, in the river now.
We gotta go.
Oh, we got to go. Redfish or speckled trout, Tideline has a good selection on the banks of the New River in down. Winds out of the northwest 5 to 10, becoming westerly in the afternoon. Seas 2 to 3, looking nice. Near shore seas around 2 feet in the morning. Then it will calm down to 1 this afternoon. Surfers, don't even think about it. It's not going to do anything for you. Dominant period, 10 seconds. Sounds and rivers, a light chop, diminishing to flat in the afternoon, twiggy flat. Westerly winds on Friday around 10 knots, seas 2 to 3. Dominant period, 7 seconds. Sounds and rivers, a light chop. And on Saturday, winds going to be out of the northeast at 15 to 20. Seas 2 to 3 feet.
Nice. And today's going to be sunny with a high near 77. Calm winds becoming northwest around 5 miles per hour in the afternoon. Tonight, mostly clear with a low around 57. South wind around 6 miles per hour. Friday, sunny with a high near 81. Friday night, a low of 58. And Saturday, a high near 71.
It's absolutely great
Beautiful
sleeping weather too.
Yes.
Oh,
Open the window.
nighttime sleep like a little baby. Okay, we have a guest in the studio.
Yes, we do.
Mm-hmm.
We have Michelle Killian. Did I say it right? From
Yes,
the
you
Onslow
did.
County Health Department. You're a nurse there?
Yes, I'm the women's health nurse supervisor.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
And we're and today we're discussing October being Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Absolutely, it is. And we have a great program there. It's called BCEP, and it is Breast Cancer and Cervical Cancer Prevention Program. And there's it's a great program for women that are uninsured, women that really would not be able to be screened. These women usually take care of everybody else but themselves. And so we're going to get those women in and screen them. 1 in every 8 women will develop breast cancer in the United States. And
1 in 8?
1 in 8
That's
women.
quite a lot.
It is a
Yes.
lot. It is
Wow.
a lot. It's amazing.
Catch it early.
Yes.
Yes.
Catch it early and things work out fairly well.
Yes, it does. It does. Every 2 minutes, a woman's diagnosed with breast cancer. So, yes, it's very important for women to do their self-breast exams every month. 25% of breast cancers are caught by their own self-breast exams.
Really?
So, yes, so they can do a lot themselves to take care of themselves.
I think a woman knows when she's doing an exam. She knows what's there that shouldn't be there.
Right.
So those exams are very important.
Yes, they are. They are. This program that we have, there are some, regulations that we have that they can be able to be in this program. First of all, you have to be female, okay, underinsured or have no insurance. You have to fall below the poverty level of 250%, and that persons around. Usually these we really will take care of themselves, get their mammograms and breast exams. So early detection is the best key to this whole thing.
Absolutely.
The outcome is, like you said, is going to increase their survival risk if they are diagnosed with breast cancer.
Right. Very important.
Yes. There are some contributing factors to breast cancer. Of course, being female, increase in age, genetics. Some women have a mutated BRCA gene that on the average, woman's lifetime risk of breast cancer is 12%, but these women are 55 to 72% at a higher risk to getting breast cancer. Okay, obesity is another factor. Fatty tissue in the body contributes to increase in estrogen levels, and increase in estrogen levels can cause an increase in breast cancer. Heavy alcohol use also is linked to breast cancer. Of course, smoking also is another contributing factor to increase in breast cancer.
We usually think about lung cancer when we talk about smoking.
Right.
They have linked that to breast cancer?
Yes, they have. Smoking decreases your immune system. And when you get a decrease in your immune system, your body can't fight off. Actually, we make mutated cells every day, but our immune systems do take care of that. So, yes, smoking does contribute to that.
How about we're hearing so much about illicit drugs, fentanyl, and the other opioids. Have there been any studies about that and cancer?
I do not know. I have not myself researched that area. That is a good area that needs to be researched.
Yeah,
We have an increase in people that are abusing those drugs. So that would be a great research project to do.
I would imagine that obviously the smoking of pot is, since it's smoke is smoke, right?
Well, yes. I guess whenever you talk about your body, anything that you put in your body that is not good for it can cause your immune system to decrease and can cause other issues. So, yes, I would say that.
So, what would you advise a woman as far as yearly mammogram checks?
Yes. Women that this program offers women 40 to 60 mammogram screenings. And we also can, if a mammogram comes back abnormal, we can send them to further testing. And we do recommend that women get their mammograms starting at 40. We offer those starting at 40.
Right.
Now, if a woman has a first degree relative that has been diagnosed with breast cancer before then, like if they say their mom or their sister developed breast cancer at 38, then they would start being screened 10 years before. So they can catch that early. So,
You need to know your history.
Right.
yes, you definitely do. That's important to know your family history. And a lot of family history, like genetics, play a part in it, like that BRCA gene that I was talking about. The mutated gene does cause an increased risk in breast cancer in women. So you can get tested for that. It's a blood test, and that way women can know if they're at increased risk for breast cancer.
Okay. If anyone's got a question or not, give us a call. Michelle, we'll be glad to take your call, 910-333-0139. So tell me, is this going on throughout the entire month of October?
Well, this service that we have is continuous. We've already serviced 50 women, approximately 50 women
That's
so far
awesome.
since July.
Okay.
These women are women that would never step up to the plate because they don't have the money to
Right.
do it.
Right.
And so this program is a federally funded program, and it definitely has made a big difference in a lot of women's lives. We have caught early breast cancer a few times, and we're excited about that we're able to be a part of that program.
So you've caught, out of those 50, you have success stories.
We have success. This program has been in place for 3 years. So we have had some success stories of women that have had early diagnosis.
Good.
And we do have according to the federal government, we are able to navigate people that have already been diagnosed with breast cancer. Those people before, we weren't able to navigate them to get like Medicaid for that. But now they can come into the program. We can navigate them to get their Medicaid and to get them to a specialist that they need to go
That's
to.
great. That's
Okay.
great.
It is. That is a wonderful add-on that we didn't have before, but this year it is new.
Okay, so what do they need to do? The ladies who are listening, or their spouses who are going to make them go do this.
Right.
All you need to do is call the health department. You can call my number. It's 910-989-3669. And my name is Michelle Killian again, and we will get you where you need to be. We do have other services, family planning services, contraceptive services that we can go on. People can come in if they don't have any insurance, and it's a sliding scale fee. If they slide down to 0, then they get their contraceptives for free. We do same day contraceptives. So we have an on-site pharmacy there that is available. So we've got a little bit of everything. We take care of maternal health patients also, pregnant women.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
This is a crazy question, but do you do screening for men for breast cancer?
We do not. And this program is just, we can educate men if they do another reason, or if they call up, we can educate them on what they can look for also, because men do get breast cancer also.
It's a
Right.
small percentage, a lot
Yes.
smaller than
Right.
1 out of 8, right?
Yes, it is. I know that the World Health Organization this year has said that over 287,000 approximately women will develop breast cancer in all countries. So this is a big deal. You've got to take care of yourself. You've got to do those self breast exams. If you're of the age to get a mammogram, come on in. We will take care of you. We will.
That's awesome. I know they've made a lot of advancements in the screening, and I just went a couple months ago and got one, and I'm ashamed to say it was my first one in a very, very long time. But I mean, it was so easy.
Yes.
I can remember back in the day, it was just like you got out of there and you were like sore for a week.
Right.
But things have changed a lot. And it was so
Yes.
easy. It was so fast and so quick.
Yes. And a lot of women think that it is something that is terrible and it's going to hurt. And, it's uncomfortable at times, but not like,
Not like,
painful.
right.
Yeah.
What's a little bit of discomfort knowing that you're good?
That's right. That's
screening.
right.
So
Exactly.
I urge every woman, they need to do this.
Yes.
And I know now November, jumping ahead off the subject, November is Men's Month.
Okay.
Isn't that the month that they recognize prostate cancer for the men? Do y'all have any programs for that?
So our family planning program, we will see men.
Right.
We at this time no men come in. So
Really?
for that, we definitely would like for men to start coming in.
Right.
We do the family planning issues with them also. If they have an issue with things and we can't provide it at the health department, we can refer them out. So
That's awesome.
yes,
That's good.
so we have referral processes that we also do.
Well, have you got any big festivities planned for the month for the Breast Cancer Awareness Month?
Well, I just presented, the county commissioners presented us with a plaque
Yes.
as far
saw
as the
that,
breast
yes.
cancer awareness. So that was a big, big thing for us. And they have always been very supportive of us in the
Right,
health
yes.
department. I've been on Onslow Talk Show. Onslow Today is a
Right.
televised program to talk to people about breast cancer and what they need to do. So we have people that go out, our team. We have teams that go out and educate. We have educators. So we have a lot of different people that are involved with different things, like this month is breast cancer awareness.
Right.
So
Let's take a real quick break. And when we come back, anybody got a question? If you guys got a question, feel free to ring us up. And Michelle, we'd be glad to address it. 910-333-0139. 910-333-0139. You're live in Local Real Talk. We'll be right back. All right, we're back in the studio with us is Michelle Killian. She's a nurse with the Onslow County Health Department. And I know the health department does a whole lot. I've visited several times for the COVID stuff.
Oh, yes.
I got all my boosters there. I guess I got 2 ones out where it was at the government.
Yes, that's where I went.
So I mean, I had no issues getting in. I described it as probably the most efficient run anything ever.
I was so
that I've been
impressed.
involved in.
So impressed
Yeah.
with the job that was done.
we've heard that a lot.
Yeah.
We've heard it from everybody in different areas to
Right.
come. And not only Onslow County people came, but we had other people out of county come.
You know what impressed me the
So-
most was how nice and friendly.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I wanted to stay the day just to talk. Just to talk. You know, I left with a big smile on my face. Everybody was so nice.
That like you guys to be happy and we provide what you
Right.
so and we're all there.
Yeah, you did a fantastic.
Next time I'd
Yes.
like a hot dog with cheese. And chili.
Me
It was well run. Well,
It's not breast cancer awareness that you're talking about during October.
Right.
That's just a month that they pick to do this kind of
Right.
stuff. You've got cervical cancer you're dealing with as well.
Yes. This program also is for cervical cancer prevention.
Mhm.
The program provides cervical screening from women 21 to 64.
Really?
Yes,
Great.
it does. They have to be uninsured or underinsured and have a poverty level income of 250% below the poverty level. So, but we also see people with insurance and we screen them as needed. And if a woman has never had an abnormal pap, usually it's every 3 years. If a woman, it depends on what abnormal pap they've had, be screened yearly. They may need what's called a colposcopy, and that is looking at your cervix with a high-powered microscope. And Dr. Hagedorn, she does pro bono there, and she's been doing that for 3 years, and my hat's off to her.
Mhm.
Awesome.
Yes, she has been one of those people that have showed up for us. And we have a colposcopy nurse, Taylor Sullivan. She is our colposcopy nurse, and she keeps up with all the abnormal paps. Let's get back to the colposcopy. If Dr. Hagedorn sees that there needs to be a further test done, we can at that time do a biopsy. Cervical biopsies, we do. When we get the cervical biopsies back, if another procedure needs to be done, if a pap is, say, high grade, that means it's close to cancer, but not really cancer, then she can do what's called a LEAP procedure. And that procedure takes off all those abnormal cells. It is also diagnostic. We can see whatever was on the biopsy compares with what's actually on the LEAP. So we send off all those test. And then we have an algorithm that we go by that the ACCP does. And we have to go by the algorithm or our provider if they want to do something different, like get a patient in sooner than what the algorithm says. It's up to our provider to do, tell us what they would like. And we have had a lot of women that have the human papilloma virus. That virus is, there's high risk of HPV viruses. 18 and 16 are high risk, and there's plenty more. There's hundreds of them. There's certain types that do cause cervical cancer. So we do the type and screening also on the PAPs, and we can find out what HPV type they do have. So we track these women. If they need a PAP, say in a year, another PAP, and not them after 2 calls, we'll send them a letter. If we don't hear from them in a month, we will send them a certified letter, and they will have to sign for that.
Right.
Sometimes we lose them the follow-up because we have a very transient population. So, we really, really strive to take care of. So, that's our cervical program.
Okay.
That's
So-
awesome.
The
It's a
follow-up
great
is
service.
amazing.
Yes.
The follow-up is amazing.
Yes,
That's good.
that's the key too. We tell our women that all you need to do is just follow up as your doctor says, your provider, and just keep an eye on it. If they want to do a PAP in 6 months, do it. We can prevent cervical cancer. We do not have to have any women to die from cervical cancer. It's very preventable. So the key
Absolutely.
again
Good.
is to catch it early and keep an eye on it and do as your plan of care, what your provider tells you to do. And us nurses, we are there to make sure that our patients do come in and get what they need. And we do love them. They know it. We have a lot of recurring patients. I have a couple that just call me just to see how I'm doing sometimes.
That's awesome. That's great.
That's cool.
I have no
Yes.
doubt.
So we go the extra mile always. We do establish great rapport with them. If they come in, this is not just a sick body part. They have, if they are diagnosed with breast cancer, we holistically look at them. We know that they're going through maybe some depression issues, so make sure that we treat. You're going to have this diagnostic test. You're going to have that. No, we really seek to try and make sure if they are depressed, we have referrals that we can do
I
there.
was just going to ask you that.
Yes, we do. We can refer, and we ask every single question you think
Right.
that is under the sun, So when that patient leaves or that client leaves us, we want to make sure that we have strived to do everything we can to fulfill what their health. We want them to stay healthy. And that's our striving goal for every single person that
So
walks
you're
through
not
there.
just treating the disease, you're treating the whole person.
Yes, we do. We do.
Awesome.
We do depression screens on people. We ask over the past 2 weeks, have you felt depressed? Over the past 2 weeks, have you felt little interest or pleasure in doing anything? And if they answer yes on either one of those, we will do a depression screen and see where they fall.
I have depression when I go fill up my gas tank. It doesn't count. Definitely a issue there.
Yes.
No, but that's awesome because you're encouraging the people to come in and be screened. This could save their life.
Yes. Early detection is the
Is the
key.
key.
Take care of yourself. Do your self breast exams. Again, breast exam, 5% of by yourself. If you're a woman, man, you can do something really good for yourself. That's one good thing. And you can get your screening mammograms. That's another good thing. Those are 2 lines of defenses that you have to prevent to survive and to prevent breast cancer.
Now, if women want to know, maybe they were never taught. There is a process. There is a procedure to do a self-exam.
Yes, there is.
And
There
so
is.
they can call you?
Yes, and we even have little pamphlets we hand out,
good.
and they can put them in their shower too, because that's the best place for a woman to do her breast
Absolutely, yes.
exams.
Okay.
So,
So I was just like, National Breast Cancer Awareness Day is October 21, which is Pink Day. Wear your
yes.
pink. So all you ladies out there, wear your pink. October 21.
Yes, yeah, wear your pink.
Wear your pink. I wore it today for you.
We got it every day.
Oh, yes, pink
To match.
microphone. Yes.
Michelle, thank you for coming in.
Yes,
Thanks for the
You are
information.
welcome.
Thanks for the work that you do.
Thank you
Yes,
for
thank you.
being here to get this the messages out. So
Don't
this
just
can save lives.
Take
Yes.
advantage of us anytime you want to.
All
Yes,
right.
anytime
Okay.
you have something, you have my number. You have Rayford's card there. You just give us a call,
Okay.
and we'll be glad to work with you, have you come back in.
Okay.
And any program that you have going that would benefit the public and the community, we're right there with you.
Okay. Well, thank you for
Thank you,
having me.
Michelle, we appreciate it. Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Let's take a quick break. You're live in Local Real Talk. We'll be right back. Don't go away. tomorrow. I'm going to the borough. They called my anniversary.
Is it an anniversary dinner?
Yeah. Robbie's put up with me for almost 16 years.
Bless her. You better buy her a big steak.
She can get whatever she wants.
That's right.
We do that. Anyway, we're going to take a break here for just a Fox News break. It's a 60-second break, so hang in there. We'll be back on the other side. You're live and local, Real Talk, Freedom 97.1, 1120 a.m., WSME. All right, getting some messages here from one of our folks, George, sent some pictures. Apparently, a structure fire on Highway 258
Oh no.
across from PNM Performance, and he's got a couple of pictures here. Traffic's it looks like a probable miss. Lots of blues and reds going, and don't know what the structure is, but anyway, structure fire out there on 258. In case you get caught up in traffic, you'll know what it's all about. President Biden lashed out at a federal appeals court yesterday. The court ruled that the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, DACA program,
Right.
was illegally implemented by the Obama administration. I want my money back. Mr. Obama, Mr. Biden, guess who was vice president during that time?
That's why my mouth was hanging open. I'm like, what?
The president called the decision unlawful and urged Congress to make permanent legislative protections to help more than 600,000 immigrants currently protected by DACA. No, we do not want Congress to make this another program that we're going to be having to fund. You and me going to have to pay money for it for the rest of our lives and our children's lives and our grandchildren's lives. Forget about it. The fifth U.S. judge determined the Obama administration lacked the authority.
Well, oh, and now on the local front, did you hear there's a phone scam going on in Jacksonville?
Yeah, there's a phone scam going on every day.
Yeah,
of
so
some
they're
sort or another.
targeting people in Jacksonville for personal and financial information.
Yep.
They're using the Jacksonville City Hall's phone number.
You can program any number you want to.
Yeah,
a phone.
I used
It's
to get them
easy to
from
do.
Onslow a lot to contact
I
people
got 'em
about
for
their electric
myself.
bill.
I got a call that said I was calling.
Oh my gosh, that would scare me.
Yeah.
What would scare me is if a former family member started calling me from heaven and,
Oh.
with their numbers. So, but yeah, if you get a phone call from an area code 910-938-5200, that's the Jacksonville City Hall.
They don't call.
So, no, they're not going to call you and ask you for financial information
No.
about your utility bills and such like
They've
that.
got all that.
If you've paid your bill, don't worry about it. If you haven't paid your bill, you might want to just hang up and call the real Jacksonville City Hall and
Yeah.
ask them about your account. But no, don't ever give any information whatsoever.
Yeah. If you're in doubt, just dial that same number back, and it'll go to.
That's right.
That's the number that's been disconnected or
It's
is no
not
longer
taking
in
calls.
service.
That's right.
Yeah, that's the way that works.
Yes.
So I do that quite often.
Best thing to do is if you don't recognize the number, don't answer it. If it's important, they'll leave you a voicemail.
And something else the scammers do, you'll notice, I've got cell phone that I've had since 1999. So
1899.
yeah, well, that too. Well, no, I got a new one coming today.
I know you do.
But I got
Can't
the
wait.
number I've had since 1999.
Yeah.
And of course, I got it when I lived in another area. So the prefix is a different prefix than the ones that are issued for this area.
Yes.
When you get it. Okay. Most of the people in Onslow County, I assume, probably have the same thing because they live somewhere else, got a cell phone somewhere else. It could be a different area code or whatever. But when you start getting phone calls from either that area code or that area code and your prefix,
Right.
well, guess what? It
It's-
ain't somebody calling you that knows you.
That's right.
It's somebody calling you because they spoofing your number and they want to
And see, I know with the
act like they know
GOP,
you.
when I was active with the GOP, and we would use, so if we called somebody, it would show personal numbers.
And when they do that, I hang up on them. Or
Oh, they would
I-
show, it would look like a local number.
I know that, but I usually cuss them out.
And God, I'm glad you
I'm
didn't
not,
cuss
I'm not
me
nice.
out.
I'm not nice when that people when you use another telephone number. You're a liar. If you use somebody else's number, you're a liar.
Wow, but it's just a lot of people didn't want their personal
I don't
number to
care.
be showed.
Doesn't get it. You can have the blocked. You can block your own number from showing up. Good morning. Who's this?
Hey, good morning, guys. It's Steve. How y'all doing
Hey,
today?
Steve. How was
morning.
your performance last night?
Yeah, how did you do?
It was pretty good, man. It was actually kind of nice there on the waterfront.
I bet it
Awesome.
was.
Had a nice little breeze blow.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, real beautiful sunset.
Mm.
Did you eat anything?
Very nice.
Did you have any food?
I didn't,
Oh.
but it smelled amazing.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, I was laughing. I told the people every time they threw a steak on in that kitchen, it would come right over there to where I was playing and right under my nose, and I was just chewing that air.
Oh. Well, it's not fattening when you do that. That's the good thing.
Oh yeah.
What's up?
Oh my! I was thinking about this show this week and some of the things y'all were talking about, and I kind of tickled my own self thinking about when y'all were talking about the daylight savings time, and how some are for it and some are against it.
Yeah.
And I laughed and I was like, in this day and time, we can't even agree on what time of day it is.
No, we can't. I've got an offer that should satisfy both parties, right? Change it by 1/2 hour. Just move the clocks up or set them back 1/2 hour.
Oh, don't go the half hour.
Right.
That would
It's
be
hard enough
perfect.
with the hour.
That would be great.
Yeah. I actually, I'm forever looking things up and researching, man. That's just my nature. So I looked it up to just see where daylight savings time came from, how it came about and all. And
1918 was
it
it?
was really it was kind of a tourist thing. It gave, more time in the evenings and in the summertime and for more recreational type things.
Right.
But I don't know, man. I don't know why we have to have it, why we got to make it complicated.
Amen.
But I thought it was funny that we can't even agree on what time of day it is.
Well, back in the day too, daylight savings time did allow for 1 extra hour during the summertime, during the growing season, when the farmers were out there
Right.
working their fields. They had an extra hour to be able to do that if they chose to do it.
Right.
And also for the conservationists out there, it saves electricity. You don't have to have your lights on because you don't get up in the morning. It's not that big a deal, but you don't have lights. Lights in 1980. The beginning.
Right.
No.
And that was that it was kind of an energy conservation because they were trying to keep hours that people were awake lit by sunlight instead of electric light. Yeah.
So anyway,
But yeah, I thought that was kind of funny. And I didn't know if you had a second. I was going to tell you about my diving experience right quick.
your diamond experience.
Diving.
Diving.
Well, I
Diving.
might as well just sit back and have my coffee.
Yeah, let me hear about it.
I went down to the island there. My first time in class, but I had a guy that took me that actually taught the class.
Uh-huh.
And he took me out there, and they loaded me down with weight, and that was the first embarrassing part. Is it took like 32 pounds in my belt to get me to sing.
Really?
And the guy was like, "Yeah," he said, "We can't put any more weight in that belt." He said, "That's all we can get in it." He said, "We're gonna have to tie rocks around your neck if you don't sing now." But anyway, I went down, and it's like 50 feet down there when you go down that rock face.
Yep.
And I got down there to the bottom, and it was just like a beach. It's just for sand, and you real clear, you could see. And I was looking at the rock face and looking at the fish, and person came up beside me, and I thought it was one of the guys I went down with, and I grabbed him by the arm, was trying to show him something, and the person freaked out and hit me, and I turned around, and it was a woman
Oh my.
in a pink and black wetsuit sitting there, and I was like, I'm 50 feet underwater, and I met a stranger. And I turned around, and I looked behind me, and there's like 50 people down there. It's like a party.
Yeah. Oh.
And there's people everywhere, and I didn't see none of them. But what I didn't know was a dive class come up after we went down and jumped in right behind us.
Gotcha.
And but yeah, I can only imagine how scared that woman was seeing a guy in blue jeans and a t-shirt just grabbing her 50 feet underwater.
So wonder she didn't cut you.
Yeah, but then I enjoyed that, and they said, "Well, if you enjoy that, you ought to go night diving."
Oh.
And I was like, "Yeah, let's do that." So we went night diving, and they told me, they said, "If we get separated, just stay where you are, and we'll come back and get you." And of course, we got separated about 25 foot down.
Yeah.
And I was sitting there trying not to be scared, just hanging out, going and being calm or whatever. And all of a sudden, I'm looking at the rocks, and the sand starts washing away from where the rocks are. And I reach out and grab the rock, and some weird current comes through and just goes to pulling me like crazy. Hold on the rocks as long as I can, and it just out the rocks, and it picks me up, backwards and over. Which way was up? I didn't know if I was. Hit that button on my vest and inflate my vest like a porpoise.
Yeah,
I came up and did a splashdown. And when the other guys came back up, they were like, "What happened to you?" I was sitting on the shore with all my gear packed up, sitting on top of it. I told them, I said, "That's the end of my diving experience, boys. I'm through."
I'm trying to figure out what that weird current was. That's an unusual.
Well, I told the guy what happened. He said every once in a while a road current, right there, because there's such a strong current out there with that water. Yep. He said sometimes the road current will come by and just shift out towards them rocks. He said that was the only thing he could explain that happened to me. But I'm here to tell you, man, that was a terrifying experience. Because when I was 7 years old, I drowned at Radio Island.
Did you?
They had to pull me out and resuscitate me on the shore there.
Wow.
A woman was telling me that there was piling holes, and that if I stepped in one, I was going to get stuck. And I didn't believe her, and I got stuck. And I remember holding my breath as long as I could, and finally let it out. And I took 2 breaths in, and I tell you, it was the weirdest feeling, that cold water going in your lungs.
Wow.
And on the second breath, the curtains closed. That was the end of it. And the next thing I knew, I seen this bright blinding light and this bald figure, and I thought it was an angel, but it was the sun because my pupils were dilated, and the woman was wearing a swim cap that had pulled me out. And she was the one that gave me mouth to mouth and brought me back.
Wow. Well, that's cool.
So,
yes.
That's a great
like I
survivor
said, it was
story.
a big story for my diving experience, but I thought you would, you'd be like, you might be interested in that.
Yeah, I dove at Radio Island a number of times. Back in the day, back in the 60s, when there was nothing there. There was a radio station, basically, and some of the port stuff they had a landing there, and I think there was a military installation there at the time, as I recall,
right.
One end of it.
Didn't they have a big radio tower out there?
The embarkation docks there.
Yeah, that's right. WMBL was the radio station there. It was AM station, 1,000 watt, daytime only, and they had a tower, but they were on a low frequency, 7 something on AM. And the tower was fairly tall. The lower the frequency, the longer the wavelength, and a quarter wavelength antenna sticking out of the ground there. It's pretty cool. But what made it cool, it was over salt water. Everything was over salt water, which gave it what we call a counterpoise or a great ground system. I could listen to that station all the way to Charleston,
My
a
gosh.
1,000 watt AM station.
Wow.
It was gangbusters. It had as strong a signal in Jacksonville as any of the local stations did at the time. So that was pretty cool.
History, fellas.
But as far as
bringing out the
I was
history.
gonna say, as far as Radio Island, I'm sorry, Lee.
I was just saying that you're bringing out the history.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But I was going to say, as far as Radio Island, I highly recommend to anybody who has never dived, at least go down there and go snorkeling.
Mhm.
Tropical fish is amazing. They come out of the woodworks. There's just amazing the fish that come up to you, how they're not scared of you
Yep, that's
when
right.
you're underwater. That was the part that amazed me.
That's how I get a lot of pictures. They come
Beautiful
right up to me.
pictures too. Yes,
Right up to
beautiful
me.
Oh, yeah.
pictures.
Yeah.
Steve, thank you, sir.
All right, guys.
Yeah, I enjoyed
You're
it.
welcome.
I
Y'all
wish
have
you
a
were,
wonderful
I
day.
wish you were performing at the Borough tomorrow night.
I got you. Tomorrow night I'm at 34 Point. That's a really nice
That's
place
nice.
Oh,
to
that
look.
is
Yeah, I've
nice
never been there.
place. Yes.
Yeah, we went to a party there last summer. Was it last spring? They had a party. We sponsored a party there. The station did.
Oh, I
Right.
got you. I got you.
All right.
But yeah, that's a really cool place. All right, guys.
Take care.
Y'all have
You
a
have
good
a
one.
great day,
All right.
Steve.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
You too. Bye.
I like listening to things that bring up the history
Yeah.
of our
yeah,
surrounding areas like Radio Island and
yeah,
how that got named Radio Island. And
yeah.
that's pretty cool. I was just looking to see if there's any updates on the fire.
I'm waiting. George, let me get this up. There's a message here coming in.
I was looking to see if the county had anything on there because a lot of times they'll put, warnings out to stay away from the area. Did you know that it's National Pedestrian Safety Month too here in Oswald County?
Nope.
Yeah, Jacksonville Police Safety
Mhm.
is doing some seminars and stuff on it
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
I'm so used to saying Jacksonville Police Department.
Well,
Now
it
it's
is the police
Jacksonville
department,
Public Safety.
but they come under public safety,
'Cause it
and the
covers
fire
fire
department comes
department.
under public safety. But the fire department is still the fire department. The
Right.
police department is still the police
It
department.
was just like
They got
used to call the sheriff's department,
Yep.
and now it's actually office.
because
And for
they're
so many years, we always called it department.
yeah. Well, it was traditionally it was a sheriff's department everywhere
Right.
because it was.
Right.
But it got to be, if you think about it, they're their own organization.
That's right. And the current
It's kind of
sheriff
like the
straightened all
school.
that
It's
out.
kind of like
Right.
the school board.
Right.
So that became the sheriff.
You just get used.
All right, so break to some weather, and then we'll be back on the other side. You got some good
Absolutely.
news for you gun owners, you future gun owners.
Yay.
News out there. You're live and local.
Oh,
It's
gosh.
going to irritate the liberals. You're live and
I love
local.
it.
Real talk. We'll be right back. There's a couple of things I like when October gets here. Couple of things.
Fishing.
Well, there's always fishing, but it's the beginning of deer season,
Oh,
October
no.
15th.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
I haven't hunted in years and years and years, but I'm giving it some serious thought this
I
year.
couldn't do it.
Why? Because I love venison. Venison is good. It's
Go
not
to the
just
store
hunting.
and buy it.
You can't buy venison in the store.
Some of the
Golly.
stores have it.
No, they don't. Not
Some
North-
like Harris Teeter, those
not
kind
North
of
Carolina.
stores.
Not it can't come from North Carolina.
Really?
Nope.
Wow.
Nope. That's illegal.
Hmm.
But anyway, so if any of their deer hunters out there and you got extra deer, I love ground. You can have all the rest of it. I just want some ground venison.
Right.
I use it for chili. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, a lot of
I
people
also
do.
use it in spaghetti
Right.
and making vegetable beef soup.
So
I
what
use
you
it.
call deer meatballs
There you go. Anyway,
for your spaghetti?
yeah, well, I just use it as part of the concoction of meat that I put in
A
spaghetti
lot of
sauce.
people, add it to meatloaf too.
Yep.
Yeah, mix it in with regular.
It's very lean.
Mm-hmm.
It's very tasty. The other thing I like, about the same time, oyster season comes in.
I know. I
Now
love
there is
oysters.
local oysters will be available. I will wait a little bit longer than the 15th of it comes in about the 15th of October. I usually wait for the water temperature to drop a little bit because I like the
Yes.
oysters. Are just nothing like cold oysters
Mm.
like that.
Pop those things.
Oyster
open.
season
Ah,
right around the corner. And for those of you, if you're attending oyster roast, other people's or your own, you might want to stop in when you're stop by Tideline Marine for your fishing lures or whatever. Pick up one of their oyster knives. I got about a dozen left as of
That's good.
yesterday, and they open in just about 7 minutes. So they got it's a nice quality. They're not $7 or something like that. It's got
It's
a
not
nice
bad at
big
all.
grip
Yeah.
and everything. So they're good oyster knives, good quality oyster knives, and you might want to stop by and pick up one or two. Even if I go to somebody else's oyster roast, public oyster roast or whatever, I carry my own knives. Robbie and I
Yes,
carry our own
I
knives.
always do too.
And that's because they might not have one that I like.
Right.
They might not have enough. They might not, they might be crappy nuts.
Exactly. Exactly.
Just put it like it is. And that's what I
Right.
carry with me. A number of Tidelines customers have already picked up a couple of knives this year. They know oyster season's coming in. They may have lost theirs, whatever.
Cool.
Like I say, there are about a dozen left, as there were yesterday afternoon. While you're at Tideline, it's a great time to go fishing. Take a gander at the fishing lures. Fishing is hot right now. If you're chasing kings, if you're going after the big Spanish, they're out there, right? They're close to shore too. If you want to stay inside, you got spots. Now, those are small fish.
Those are fun to catch.
They're
Though.
fun to catch. Double hook, bottom rig, a little bit of shrimp. Oh my goodness gracious! And you can bring home a mess.
Yes, you
no
can.
problem. Okay. Big redfish, got lures for those. Got speckled trout out here. Got lures for those. They're all on fire right now. Good selection of tackle that will fill your needs. Tideline Marine at 159 Old Bridge Street on the banks of the New River in downtown Jacksonville. Northwesterly winds 5 to 10 knots, becoming westerly in the afternoon. Seas 2 to 3 near shore. Seas around 2 feet in the morning. Then they're going to get calmer in the afternoon.
Nice.
1 foot
Ooh.
waves. Dominant period 10 seconds. Sounds and rivers a light diminishing to flat in the afternoon. And on westerly winds around 10, seas 2 to 3, dominant period 7 seconds, sounds and rivers a light chop. Saturday, northeasterly winds kick it up a little bit, 15 to 20, with seas 2 to 3 feet.
Okay, well, today is going to be sunny with a high near 77. Calm winds becoming northwest around 5 miles per hour in the afternoon. Tonight, mostly clear with a low around 50, winds around 6 miles per hour. Friday, sunny. A high near 81. Friday night, mostly clear with a low around 58. And Saturday, mostly sunny with a high near 71. And just on a side note, living in North Carolina, just remember this: winter is at 6 a.m., spring starts at 10 a.m., summer is at 2 p.m., and fall is usually around 4:30ish. So dress accordingly.
Dress so you can get undressed and
Yes.
then redressed. You dress up, undress, and redress. How's
Yeah,
that sound?
there you go. Redress.
Yeah. Hey, I got if there's some good news coming out of our Supreme Court in this nation. not North Carolina, but out of the Supreme Court, the Supreme Court. They've had some really cool rulings lately. Gun owners across this country may get some relief from oppressive laws that single us out when it comes to our rights. In New York, earlier this year, the Supreme Court ruled against a state law that required that people who wanted a concealed carry permit, they had to prove they needed one. In the ruling, the court wrote, the constitutional right to bear arms in public for self-defense is not a second-class right subject to an entirely different body of rules than the other Bill of Rights guarantees. Hello, you got a freedom of speech. Do you have to show that you have a need to have a freedom of speech? You have the right to worship as you please. Do you have to show a need to have to worship? To be able to worship
No,
as
you
you
should
please?
not have to, right?
You have a right to be safe in your home. Do you have to show a need to be safe and secure in your home?
No, not at all.
Now that same court has ruled against the lower court's finding that a Massachusetts law that imposed strict restrictions on the possession and purchase of handguns, including the need for a license in order to purchase or possess a pistol, and threw it out. They told the lower court that they ruled wrong. They sent it back to that same lower court, and they have now the opportunity to correct their mistake, according to the U.S. Supreme Court. I'm betting that similar restrictive laws in anti-gun states across the country will soon get the same treatment, but they will have to be challenged before it goes before a Supreme Court. The NRA, no doubt, is redirecting its efforts to return our basic rights to us, and I'm sure with everybody in every state in this country that the NRA has, that's exactly what they're going to
do. For all states.
Absolutely.
All too, if you're getting ready to take a trip, you better research what states you can take a firearm into. You might be visiting their hotel there that the hotel you don't want to stay in.
With those slanted windows.
That's right. Absolutely. So, tomorrow I'll go ahead and let everybody know we have the Fire Marshal with us tomorrow, Brian Kelly.
It is Fire Safety Prevention Month.
That's right, it is. And he's going to talk about fire safety and prevention. And, you know, it's always a good time to check your smoke alarms. So he'll be in at 8:00. So I think it'll be a great show. Yes, it will be.
The U.S. Secret Service insisted that no records exist of who President Biden has met with at his Delaware residences, plural, during his presidency. The New York Post reported that it requested the information about who visited the president at the Wilmington and, I can't pronounce that name. What is it?
Oh.
Rehoboth?
I don't know. Names have
beach
changed
homes
over
anyway,
the years.
as part of the Freedom of Information Act, but it has not. His appeal has been denied. In a letter dated September 27, Secret Service Deputy Director Farron Paramore wrote, the agency conducted an additional search of relevant program offices for potentially responsive records. This search also produced no responsive records. Accordingly, your appeal is denied. The denial is the latest in the series of developments involving Biden's records. In March of 2010, email reviewed by Fox News Digital, the office of then Vice President Biden expressed concerns about the University of Delaware's terms for the deed of gift for his Senate papers due to the political sensitivities that could arise from releasing the papers to the public. The email went on to list some sections that needed to be reviewed, including property ownership, timing of archival processing and public release, opportunity for review prior to release, and scope. Huh?
You give me a headache.
Biden has defended the decision not to release the papers during his 2020 presidential campaign, saying that the papers could become political fodder.
Yes, that's what he would say. Exactly.
Really?
Fodder.
In 2020, Business Insider reported that Biden's campaign dispatched to the University of Delaware's library in the past year to rifle through his secret record, the policy access documents related to Tara Reid's accusation that Biden assaulted her in 19.
Of course.
Republicans regarding the records of who met with Biden at his Delaware homes. Representative James Comer out of Kentucky told the Post that the agency's claims of no records existing are a bunch of malarkey, his words. He said, Americans deserve to know who President Biden is meeting with, especially since we know that he routinely met with Hunter's business associates during his time as vice president. Huh? He said he had nothing to do with Biden's, with his son's company,
Yeah,
or
except,
his associates or anything.
hey, Hunter, good morning. Hey, you don't have to worry. Things have been taken care of. Click.
Biden has spent about 200 days of his presidency in Delaware. The Post said it is evaluating legal options to acquire the visitors' logs. Is the president supposed to be responsive to the people? And do we have a right to know who is hounding him, who is at his door? Do we need to know? Should we know what other countries have people visiting him? There's supposed to be a visitor's log.
Well, they sure didn't mind going after Trump and all his paperwork that he took home with him. Why aren't we doing the same for Biden?
I don't know.
Yeah, going back to the deer season, you were talking about deer season coming up.
Anybody's a hunter, and you get some extra. Give me
how
a call.
about bear?
I don't want bear.
You know, yesterday was the start of the
Yeah, I know.
Fat Bear Week this year. Fat Bear Week.
I've never had it, but I've had a lot of people say, "Well, it's not bad." Well, if it's not bad, then I don't
My
want
neighbor did that to me.
I don't.
I was over at his house and he was like, "I got some new stuff. Try this. I just took it off the smoker and I assumed it was like cow meat, and I ate it and I noticed it had a strange taste like freezer burn."
Oh.
And I'm just like, and then he told me it was bear, and of course I spit it out right quick. I was like, ugh.
There's some games that are good. Dove is delicious. Pheasant, I've had that. I've had elk. It's very good. I've had venison a lot. It's very good. Is all two things with venison. One, I'm not particularly interested in deer that have been driven with dogs to the point that they finally run across you. There's just too much stuff going on in them when that happens. I don't want deer that has been run down by a car.
Right.
Things break up in there.
Roadkill. Right.
Not interested. For somebody who's still hunting from a stand or whatever, and a deer is there and they shoot him and, it's an instant kill type thing, I'm okay.
Yeah.
I like that. It's tasty. As long as you prepare it right. You got to dress it out pretty quickly, at least field dress it. Okay? Yep.
Yeah, no. I think deer are such beautiful creatures. I just can't.
So are cows.
I don't think about cows that way. I think about cows. I think about steak.
I think about deer. I think about ground venison for chili.
Yeah, that would be. A lot of people, it's chili season. I made some last week on the storm day. I just thought, people kept talking about chili. I said, I'm making some.
There you go.
It was good. I ate it for 2 days and I was done.
The day before deputies discovered Georgia office manager Debbie Collier dead in, I can't pronounce this, Chattahoochee-Oconee National Forest, she sent a mysterious money transfer to her daughter along with a confusing message.
Yes.
The message said, "They are not going to let me go, love. You let me go. Love you. There is a key to the house in the blue flower pot by the door." That's what she wrote to her daughter. Along with the $2,385, what is a Venmo payment?
Venmo is a type of app that you can use on your phone, and where you put in all your information or whatever. Do Venmo too, and I want to send you some money. I can just send it to you, and it goes straight into whatever account you have. That
her daughter received the day her mother went missing is very close to the amount her live-in boyfriend, Andrew Giegerick, owed in probation fines to law enforcement sources to Fox News Digital. Viewers of the Grizzly True Crime podcast revealed the connection Monday after adding up a series of imposed fines and calculating payments that Giegerick had already made. The math, according to the sources, could be thrown off slightly by additional fees added. The sum had not been paid to probation as of Wednesday morning. The billing coordinator at the Athens-Clarke County Probation Department said the details of the fines were confidential and could not be discussed over the phone. Collier's husband, Stephen, reported her missing September 10th around 6 p.m., and she was last seen alive 2.5 hours later, leaving a Family Dollar store in Clayton, a 90-minute drive north. A Habersham County deputy discovered her remains the following afternoon, a quarter mile into the woods off Georgia Route 15 near her abandoned vehicle. She was unclothed, partially burned, and grasping a small tree at the bottom of an embankment. According to documents provided by the sheriff's office, many of her belongings had been burned as well, and they recovered her purse and cell phone at the scene. Habersham investigators said Friday that they did not recover the train. 2 days before Collier's disappearance, her daughter and her boyfriend moved back to Athens from Maryland, where they had been living with her brother. Habersham County investigator George Kaysen told reporters last week. Something wrong.
Something's fishy. Well,
investigators have not publicly named anyone as a person of
Right.
interest.
First of all, the text message is
It's weird.
to me is weird. It's more like someone pretending to be her, and then pretending to be the pot.
Well, that she had been kidnapped too.
Right.
They
right.
won't. They're not gonna go.
Right. Exactly. That whole text message right there leads me to believe that it was.
These are bound to be two stupid people.
Yep, somebody personally knew her
Yeah.
and was trying to make it look different.
Yep.
Yeah, well, the truth will come out on that one
Yep.
soon.
No doubt.
It's craziness.
Let's
Did
see.
you hear the one about the Florida principal
Oh,
facing criminal charges for allegedly leaving a pair of guns in a conference room
that was
at
a
a
Parkland school.
Parkland Middle School, 3 miles from the site of one of the most
Well,
deadly
he should
shootings.
be charged.
Yes. Brought the guns to the Somerset Parkland Academy and left them laying on a conference room table.
Why?
Ignorance, you know? I mean, the 2 guns and 2 loaded magazines were inside a soft zippered pouch with handles. There was no lock on the pouch or trigger lock on the guns. The principal admitted that the guns were hers, and she said she had them in her car to take to the post office and put in a safe deposit box. When does a post office have safety deposit boxes? I don't know. And in Florida, things could be different.
Yeah, who knows? I don't know. Yeah, man.
Oh, she's trying to claim that another staffer who helped her unload the car that morning may have accidentally brought them into the school. Well, they're your guns, honey. You need to be responsible for them.
Yeah, you're done now.
That's terrible. Absolutely terrible. Yes.
A high school golf team in Austin, Texas, had to cancel practice Monday after they showed up to the course and encountered an adult entertainment clubs tournament going on.
Oh.
The school district
How
sent a message to the high school schoolers' parents on Tuesday saying that some adults were acting very inappropriately when the teens showed up for practice.
Oh.
Unfortunately, our golfers did witness some lewd behavior. The coach immediately canceled practice and had all the players contact their parents to come pick them up.
No, you know those young golfers were entertained and having a time of their life.
Well, they got a picture here, but they blacked out the bottom part of the picture.
Oh my goodness!
Two women from the adult entertainment club walking on the course. They apparently, I'm going to guess what's under that black bar right there was nakedness.
Wouldn't they be afraid of ticks or something? I mean, usually golf courses have pine trees.
The golf course, Avery Ranch was the name of the golf course, told the school that they were not aware that these inappropriate actions would occur. The high school has been practicing for 2 decades at Avery Ridge. With Avery Ranch, rather. It's what occurred yesterday is not acceptable, and we will work closely with Avery to ensure this never happens again. Well, I'm sure they will. Yellow Rose, the adult entertainment club in Austin, was hosting a tournament at the golf course from noon till 5. The club's manager could not immediately be reached for comment. He was in shot out.
I'm in a state of shock.
Never know what's going to happen when you go to a golf course, do you?
Yeah, I've been golfing in
Uh,
quite a while. What am I missing?
I don't, but naked. Two U.S. senators are threatening impeachment. Lindsey Graham, Ted Cruz joined forces to send a message to Department of Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas that they have grounds for impeachment if he fails to act swiftly in correcting his gross dereliction of duty at the southern border, their words. In a letter to Mayorkas, the senators compiled data produced by Customs and Border Protection that show that the crisis at the southern border has deteriorated since Mayorkas took office 19 months ago. In other words, you ain't done your job, dude.
Yes.
They wrote, this is gross dereliction of duty and if not corrected swiftly could provide grounds for impeachment. Your failure to faithfully enforce this nation's immigration laws and willful blindness to the very real humanitarian crisis at our southern border amounts to a gross dereliction of duty and a violation of your oath of office. Ooh,
Yes.
big words.
He got a stern letter, and it was signed by Lindsey Graham and Ted Cruz.
Yep. According to Border Protection, the Border Patrol guys, there have been over 4.4 million illegal crossings, including over 3.5 million apprehensions and at least 900,000 gotaways who evaded apprehension.
That's right.
In addition to the record high border crossings and migrant encounters, the senators charged Mayorkas with enabling a drug production and smuggling enterprise by Mexican cartels and China-supplied drug ingredients that directly contributed to the fentanyl-fueled opioid pandemic that's killed 108,000 Americans last year alone.
That's right. This year's increased.
Yes. More than 100,000 Americans have died in 2021 from fentanyl. Okay?
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's one thing that we need to bring up. We've got Halloween coming up soon.
Yeah.
And there has been an influx of fentanyl wrapped as candy. Parents need to, yes, fentanyl lace candy that is being disguised as like Halloween candy.
Really?
So if you get a box, you got to check your children's candy. Check it.
How do you check that?
Well, if it's loose, there's one piece of candy in a box or something like that. It's a thing this year. It's a thing this year. So if it's, and you have any doubts about it, and I'm sure Jacksonville Public Safety will be doing a screening this year. There'll be agencies here.
You'd have to screen every can that you get. It's not like
right. I just get door to door. I know a lot of people wouldn't like that, but maybe have a Halloween party or something.
Let's see. I saw somewhere that somebody was handing out test strips for fentanyl. I don't know where it was. I'm trying to find it again.
This fentanyl thing is called rainbow fentanyl. It's a real Halloween scare targeting kids. So let me see. And recent warning from the U.S. Drug Enforcement Agency. And it just flipped over on me here. Well, Forbes, corruption. Let me see. It's rainbow fentanyl pills and powder that come in a variety of bright colors, shapes, and sizes, and there's a deliberate effort by drug traffickers to drive addiction amongst kids and young adults. So they are passing it out as like Halloween candy this year. It's in quotes because it's not an official medical term as far as rainbow fentanyl. Rather, it's been informally used to describe the possibly looks like candy, multicolored versions of fentanyl, which is a potent synthetic opioid that have been popping up in the news. So,
see if I can find a story on test strips.
Right, and it said that if you didn't know that the bags and they're shown a video or full of fentanyl products, might you have mistook them for a 7-year-old's dream snack pack?
Okay, something's got to be done.
Yes.
Fentanyl test strips. Arizona. That's where they're getting them. Distributes fentanyl testing strips as deadly pills disguised as other drugs. Continue to cross the border there. Wonder where you can buy fentanyl test strips.
I don't know. I know that there's little packets that law enforcement carry
Yeah, I
that they
know.
can take something like cocaine or fentanyl or something and put a little drop in there and mix and it turns the color blue or something.
Yep.
So I don't know if that's
CVS. Let's see if that's true. Drug confirm
CVS.
home drug test cup pickup in store. There's one area when you buy online and pick up. However, you can easily buy fentanyl test strips elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We got to figure out where you can buy these things. I take it before I go to a friend's house or anybody's house. They're going to give me some candy. I'm not eating any more candy.
I don't think you need to worry about that. If you just go trick or treating this year,
Mhm.
be careful what you get in your bag.
I'm not going trick or treating. I scare people.
Yeah. You know, nowadays you could just dress up and wear a full costume, cover your face. You can probably get some good candy. They wouldn't know you weren't a kid.
I'm 6'2".
Well, there's tall kids out there.
If they're that tall, they don't need to be trick or treating.
I get tickled when I see the whole family get
Oh,
together
well,
and
yeah.
dress up and they're out there
Well,
with the kids.
As
I
long
think
as
that's
as
awesome.
long as you're leading the kids,
Right.
escorting the kids.
Yeah.
I nothing wrong with that.
I think it's pretty cool.
Some warning. Watch out for those costumes. Make sure the kids can see. Make sure the kids are well lit. They're
That's
not
right.
wearing all black.
That's right.
And that they abide by the recommendations. There, you can't make any laws.
And you can buy reflective tape.
Oh, yeah.
You can just
Yeah,
put all over
yeah.
their and even
What-
your pets too. Reflective tape on them.
Yeah, reflective collars are good also.
Yes.
You can buy that. So anyway, let's take a break. Oh, we're late. You're live in Local Real Talk. We'll be right back.
Gosh.
All right, wrapping up the show here today. It's been an interesting one all morning. Thanks
Yes, it has.
to our guest this morning, Michelle Killian
Yes.
from the Oslo Health Department.
I appreciate her coming in, and
Yes,
she gave us
absolutely.
some great information. And yeah, a lot of people just don't realize all the services that the county offers.
Yeah.
You take advantage.
Wonder if they, yesterday we talked about Biden was in Fort Myers, right?
Yes.
Mayor Ray Murphy. He caught on an open mic.
As
He was
usual.
talking to the mayor, I guess just the two of them, but there was a hot mic there, and it was kind of caught joking. No one F's with a Biden, is what the president told the mayor. Yeah, the mayor said, laughing. You're GD right. Really?
My goodness gracious. It's a rule of
Really?
thumb when you're in a position like president that you mind your P's and Q's wherever you are. I mean, somebody could be recording you ever. That was just,
Yeah,
that's
buddy.
terrible. It happens, but yeah, that's not very good.
No, it's, Trump did stupid stuff on a regular basis.
Yes, he did.
We've heard.
But it was normal for him. We
Yeah.
got to expect that.
I don't know. I don't know. It's whatever. A higher degree, a higher standard is what we should expect.
Exactly. Well, he just kills me the way he goes into a tragic scene like in Fort Myers or some of the previous sites that he's visited, and he starts off with a joke. I don't think it's necessary to start off with a joke. This is not
Nope.
joke time.
Nope, not at all. Okay, coming up at 10 o'clock this morning. Right now, we'll go to Fox News break, of course, but at 10 o'clock this morning, it's a dose of our Daily D's with Rick Dees. And then at 3 o'clock this afternoon, Hollywood's going to be in the house.
Yeah,
Man.
Hollywood's
Don't
in the
forget
house.
tomorrow, Sports Talks at 9 o'clock. I'll find out tomorrow who the guest is. And tomorrow evening, WSME will be live from Jacksonville High Cardinal Stadium. And,
Top of the bleachers.
Yep, 6:30 is when the station goes live, and it's the pregame show. At 7 o'clock, they'll be there for the kickoff. And I encourage all of the Jacksonville fans, all of us who were in high school there at one time or another, to bring it on down. Let's show the cards what we...
Class of 72 is meeting there tomorrow night.
Are they?
Because they're having a reunion this
They're a bunch
weekend,
of
and they're
young'uns.
starting off.
They're a bunch of youngins.
All right. They are. Older than me, yay.
Yeah. You're live and local, Real Talk Freedom 97.1, 1120 AM, WSME. We'll see you tomorrow morning.